Hello, 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 and welcome again to another episode of Porch Puppy Comics, where if you can't run with the big dog, stay on the porch, y'all. This is episode 26, and I'd like to thank the Lord for all my subscribers. I think I've got up to like 37 or 39 subscribers. I thank the Lord for those that are yet viewing, that are yet giving me thumbs up, that are yet leaving comments. I thank the Lord for all of you, and just keep it up. All I'm trying to do is put out some good content, some wholesome content, and just give you some, some encouraging words from the Word of God, because that's where that's where my encouragement comes from. And as I told you before, heaven is a prepared place for prepared people. So we got to be ready to meet him. We got to be ready because he's coming back. He's coming back, y'all. He's coming back, and we have to be ready. Yes, we do. We have to be ready. Let me adjust the camera here a little bit more. And the books we're going to be looking at today is Divinity. Now, Divinity, on this New to Me Comic Book Wednesday, is a book that my friend Mikey got me started in. And the gentleman's name is Abram Adams. And he is Divinity. He is a Russian cosmonaut. And the story takes place where the space race, they wanted to go to the edge of space. And so they already went every other place, with the race being between the Russians and the U.S., and so they wanted to go to the edge of the universe. So what they decided to do was they had a 30-year mission. And Mr. Abram Adams was to volunteer, him and two other cosmonauts. And they went, and he ended up getting changed. He ended up gaining, if you allow me to say, the equivalent of the power cosmic from like Silver Surfer or Captain Marvel, a fame of those. So these books here, this is the first iteration. This is Divinity 1. It came out in 3 different books. So you had Divinity 1, then you had Divinity Volume 2, and Divinity Volume 3. And these books were magnificent. And the Lord blessed me that I was able to get the cardstock painted covers. These books are amazing, y'all. They are amazing. Now, these covers that you're looking at now, these are Divinity 0. So these covers aren't painted, but the ones that are magnificent. And I'm going to put those up and show you these covers right now. Those Divinity Zeros was A and B. This is Divinity 1 and 2. I want you to take a good look at these painted covers. These painted covers are done by 2 Russian artists. I'm not going to even try to pronounce their names, but there's cardstock and beautiful books, beautiful books. Let me open up issue 1 for you, y'all, on this New to Me Comic Book Wednesday. As you can see, you can get a better look at the book. Cardstock, black cover all the way through. There's no spine ticks on this one. It's a real good shape. It's hard to try, as I said beforehand, to find a black book or black comic book that doesn't have, I told you your finger would leave an oil print on there. This is some of the interior art. Check that out. That's Divinity right there. And at first, the story's kind of trippy, and you got to try to really get into it. But the whole idea that this is done from a Russian standpoint is, I think, is what kind of got it a lot of acclaim. Because even down here in the little Valiant box, which is, this book came out in 2014-15, it says Valiant Next. And these issues were really, really nice. If you can find them on YouTube, on eBay, a set with this particular covers. They have another set, which is the B covers, which are kind of psychedelic covers. But these here, if you're going to get the set, I suggest that you get the ones with the painted covers if you can get them. And I'm guaranteeing you they are hard to find. You know, Mikey, another friend of mine, he the one that got me started into these. This is issue 3 and issue 4. And the little girl in issue 4 is his daughter. And his power set, I haven't really quite figured out what his power set is exactly, but it deals with, like I said, he can manipulate time. He can go forward or backward. He can freeze it. He can speed it up. He can slow it down. Of course, he's also got the standard, bulletproof, super strength. I believe he can literally shoot some kind of cosmic rays or pulse out of his hands and different things. But the thing that got me was that, it didn't change up his suit or nothing. He's still in the Russian cosmonaut spacesuit, from 30 years ago. So this story goes in where he's even going up against Unity, the superhero team of the Valiant Universe, which consists of Livewire, Ninjak, Exo, and the Eternal Warrior, which he dispatched them rather handily. And the book, if you can find these books, I guarantee you need to go ahead and pick them up. Now, as I told you, there was a volume 2 and a volume 3. Those are the ones I'm looking to pick up next. And the reason I'm looking to get those next, I had them. I've had them twice. I think I sold the first set, all 3 volumes, and ended up picking up volume 1. And then down the road, I picked up volume 2 and volume 3. And I think I ended up trading volume 2 and volume 3. But looking to pick those up yet again. And let's see what else we got here. We've got these here are volume 3 one-shots. This is something they did in the volume 3 run, and this they didn't even nicknamed it the Stalin verse. And you see it says on the top Divinity 3, and it's Eric, son of the revolution, and then it's got Commander Bloodshot. And, this is, like I said, the people that done the story and everything and the art in it was done from a Russian standpoint with all the different characters and different things. And basically, when Divinity came and he was trying to warp things into what he wanted to see, what he wanted to do. So that's what he started changing everything and started warping the realities of the heroes and the people of the planet. So, in other words, having his own little universe, so to speak. The whole storyline is a great read. And I advise you to go ahead and pick it up. I believe it would be one of those books that you would definitely enjoy. Let us change gears a little bit. And I found these to be rather interesting. These next 3 books is The Incredible Hulks, The Enigma Force. Now, the Enigma Force in this book is not dealing with the Captain Universe Enigma Force. These people right here, I kept looking at them, and the only thing that got me to really eyeballing to see who these folks were was this guy right here. That's Bug. So these people here are the Micronauts, but they're not called the Micronauts nor the Microns in this particular run, because what they're trying to do here is trying to stop the Incredible Hulk's evil son. Now, he's got Scar, but he also had another son named Hiro, Hiro. And so he's got some kind of cosmic type, powers also, and he's going through trying to destroy the multiverses. So they're coming through to try to stop him. So I just thought it was good to see the Micronauts back in action. So as I was doing a little digging around, y'all, I just kind of figured out that these particular characters hadn't been called the Micronauts for a little while, because if I'm not mistaken, during this particular time, that they was already, the licensing through Hasbro, I think, had transferred, or it went into limbo. I think several different other companies, IDW, I think there was a couple other companies I can't think of right off the top of my head, but they had rights to them and came out with a couple of, several issues of the Micronauts, new stories and different things. Well, I found out here the other day that Marvel has now got the rights back to the Micronauts. So, way I understand it, here in another couple of months, Lord bless, they're supposed to be bringing out a Micronauts #1 facsimile. It's amazing that the books that you picked up came out about that time, and collected, which I collected those. But there for a while they went into obscurity, to where again you could go into the dollar box, 50-cent boxes at the time, and you could pick up almost a complete set of Micronauts. Because somebody, Micronauts, what I mean, I didn't care if they added the X-Men in it, the Avengers, the Fantastic Four, whoever they ended up having to fight. It didn't really bring a whole lot of, like I said, I think I got one, maybe two issues, and that's us because of the Captain Universe in it. And I would like to get there's one more issue outside of #1 I wouldn't mind having in the original context, is Micronauts #7. That's the Man-Thing cover. It's a great looking cover. It's real nice. But people are starting to pick these up now, because again, these Bronze Age books are drying up, But I was just glad to see these characters. And some of these characters that they're going up against, because this is Cyclops right here. Hulk had fought him several times during his run, and he ends up aiding the Enigma Force, or the Micronauts, if you allow me to say, in the book. There's also Hook's ex-girlfriend, the one that got killed, what's her name, Jarella, I think is what her name is. Back in the day, y'all, this is back in the day. This, she ended up dying when he had got shrunk down and was in the microverse, and that's where he fell in love with her, and she ended up getting killed. I think he brought her to this reality, or this universe, and she ended up getting killed. But usually, I think she had a daughter, which is she's in with the team now. And the only 3 original members is Commander Rand, Marionette, and Bug are the only 3 originals out of this group. And as we say, we have #3. And we're going to go ahead and put up Weapon H. And you have the 3rd issue. If you can pick this up, this was a 3rd issue during the Incredible Hulk's run. That's with an X. And it was a 3-issue series within the series. If you pick it up, it's a good read. The art is spectacular. Story is good. Got Hook at the end of the book talking smack. It's funny. But the next book is a variant edition of Weapon X. And this is the army, or the soldier that he was, I don't know if I can't remember exactly if he volunteered, but he ended up with the Hulk DNA and the Wolverine DNA, as you can tell by his claws. An interesting character. But the reason that I picked this book up more than anything is that Dale Keown done the cover on it. As I told you once before, Dale Keown done one of the best Hulks and the best Hulk runs as far as the art and the story by Peter David. Peter David had a fantastic run on The Incredible Hulk. It was a great book. And I believe, can't remember what really happened. I didn't really collect Weapon H all that much. But then when I saw these, I said I had to go ahead and get them. Hulkverines, when you think you done seen it all. Community, when you think you done seen it all. And I have the A cover, which is the first one, number one. Then I have a DL Keown variant with the scroll on the cover. Scrolls are beginning to be a big thing, so everybody's going to be chasing them if they're not chasing them already. I just got it because of the Dale Keown cover. If it yields anything, so be it. But, the whole storyline was still good. And I believe you would like it. It's nice. And you can tell by the condition of the books. The conditions are nice on the books. Everything is sharp in them. The color on them is nice. And it's just real, it's real cool. So, it'd be something that you can really check out. And I believe you'd like the story. It's kind of out there, y'all. You wouldn't think of it being anything worth anything. But if you're a Hook fan and a Wolverine fan, and then you got Weapon H thrown in the mix, hey, it's a party, y'all. Here's a number 2 variant. Can't remember who done the art on that one, but it was just weird enough. And then the Greg Land on the number 3 cover. It looked like even Wolverine done hooked out in this one. And it's still a good book, y'all. It's a nice little mini-series. It's one of those turn your brain off and enjoy. That's what I said I like about comics. Sometimes comics are supposed to be they're supposed to be enjoyable. Sometimes they get you to think. But, if you want to, put too much thought process into it, like I said, to me, if the art is good, you ought to be able to tell a story with just the art by itself. And I'm telling you, on this new to me comic book Wednesday, this is some decent stuff, y'all. If I say so myself, and I do, it's some decent stuff. I can't tell you enough to pick up that set of Divinity. If you can find all 3 volumes, do yourself a favor and pick that book up. It's gonna be worth your time, community. All right, y'all. Our scripture reading for this morning will be coming from James, the book of James, chapter 4, and we're going to read the 7th, 8th, and 10th verse. And it reads, "Submit yourself therefore to God, resist the devil, and he will flee from you. Draw nigh to God," that's nigh, y'all. Draw nigh means draw near to God, and he will draw near to you. Cleanse your hands, ye sinners, and purify your hearts, ye double-minded. 10th verse. Humble yourself in the sight of the Lord, and he shall lift you up. But you have to humble yourself. And you got to make sure that your hands and your hearts, and now when they say your hands, dealing with this particular scripture, look, it means that your whole being has got to be clean before God. And only Jesus Christ can clean you up. He can clean you up from the inside out. As I told you, I think a couple of episodes back, it's an inside job. That's what our assistant pastor says all the time. The Lord, he cleans you up. It's an inside job. And what's coming in on the inside will come on the outside. You'll do and say and be what the Lord will have you to be. In the community, he is our strength. Don't let nobody get you leading down your primrose path now. The Lord is our strength. It's through him that we're able to rise in the morning, have mobility, have breath. Look, you got to realize where we at. Even though we're doing these books, the books are nice. But look, at the end of everything, when the Lord splits the sky and he comes back for those that's living according to his word, look, you can't take the books with you. But he blesses us to yet have fun with these books while we yet here, community. A little food for thought, a little something to take on your way. Our next books that we're dealing with, you all, is a book called The Blue Flame and Megalith. Now, I know you're probably saying, hey, wait a minute. We've seen Megalith before. Yeah, you have. And guess what, y'all? It's a newsstand. But look here. This is the reason why I picked this particular book up. I haven't picked up another Blue Flame since this book came out. And the only reason that I picked this book up is because it looks so much like a rendition paying homage to the Rocketeer when the Rocketeer come out And this storyline, I think I had read through the first one. It's been a little while, but the storyline is, it's kind of out there. It's kind of back and forth. But other than that, I mean, it's still a good setup. Now, the megalith has always been a character because I always said, he's not, he's a Superman of sorts, but I mean, he doesn't have what you would call, he doesn't fly, he doesn't have I mean, he's got some speed. Can't exactly say he's bulletproof. He's got the super strength, but he just honed his body, to to the superior, being that he turned out to be. And when Neil Adams put this book together, he put this book together, and just the cover, as you can tell with Neil Adams stuff, you can tell his books from anybody else's. He had another book that came out around about this time called Skate Man. I've had an issue of that one. I wasn't a fan of that one, y'all. I'm gonna show you some of this interior art from this book, because Neil Adams has a very distinct style. And if you pick this up, now you can find these usually in the dollar boxes, but over the years, again, like everything else, they end up getting, people are picking them up now. That's just one of the pictures. Was a big spread. They have a picture in here where he's done trained his muscles so to where when he ended up getting shot, he didn't deflect the bullets, but he ended up projecting the bullets, or yet pushing them out through contracting his muscles. And I guess by doing that as well, he has a healing factor. So I picked up all other issues of this book, but when continuity changed over to another company, and they tried to do the book and start it over, and they did the same thing with Ms. Mystic. He had a whole line there, so I guess you would say his book, he come out with a book called Crazy Man. Yeah, and put him right up there with Skate Man. There was a lot of other books he came out with, but for the most part, this had to be my favorite one. And if you pick up the Blue Flame, or at least this variant cover of it, it's a decent read. It just wasn't something I wasn't going to really just kind of go ahead and be vested in at that particular time. Now, this particular book, I'm looking for a fourth issue of this one. This particular book is called Bring the Thunder. And it's a book come out by Dynamite. Now, Dynamite, I know they pick up a lot of properties that a lot of people, that's out there in limbo, and they pick up a lot of properties. But these here this particular book here, I had it a long time ago and then ran across it again. And the only book I'm needing now is the fourth issue. There is a trade paperback you can get, but like I said, I like the individual issues, or the floppies, if you allow me to say. And I like the first issue, how they got it looking like a movie poster. And this is the hero here. Don't ask me what his name is right now, y'all, because I can't tell you. I can't tell, which I could, but I can't tell you. But anyway, this gun that he's got in here, this experimental gun, they was trying to stop this character right here, which is the villain in it. And the gun that the government had, it blew up, and the power core that was in that particular I'm not just, for the sake of argument, y'all, I'm just going to call it a photon rifle. It's not a photon rifle, but whatever it was, it blew up, and all the power that the gun generated went into him, which is him right here. So come to find out that he was out of sorts when he came to, and had been out for quite a while. So when he went back to the neighborhood, and everything, because the war at that particular time was over, the villain was still out there, but he still went on and went back to the neighborhood. I think he busted up some drug dealers and some, different things like that. And he ended up going back, and he had to fight the character. And there's Here is issue 3. And I know I said this is new to me, so check that out, y'all. Boom. Now there's issue 3, and you probably your mind just done went completely away from Bring the Thunder on to the Defenders number 13. Yes, I would do the same thing. This is the era of comic books that I like to get into, because that's what I understand. If you allow me to say, folks out there in the community, it was a simpler time. As I said before, you had good versus evil. There was no gray matter. There was no what they call it. He's an anti-hero. You either are or you aren't. They fought. They teamed up. And it was just the action covers. And I like this, here on this cover here, if y'all know the Squadron Sinister, which I enjoy that group. That's got to be my next to favorite super team, the Squadron. They are the Supreme now, but they were the Sinister then. But, all of them, they fighting on the cover, Hyperion and Hulk and Speed Demon and Namor. And then, was it Dr. Prism Master or something? I can't think of his name. But anyway, he had that little prism, Jim. I think they ended up where he had absorbed it in future issues, to where he didn't have to walk around with it in his hand and stuff like that in order to use the power. But as I said, I shouldn't have threw this 13 up here, but it is new to me. And I know you just done threw, like I said, the other new books just clean out of the way, just done threw it clean out your mind. But still, I want you to look at this cover on this book. It's a beautiful, beautiful cover. And, and that's the thing I like about the newer books, is the newer covers, the different palettes and paint colors and different things that they use. But still, pound for pound, you cannot beat the old issues. If you find one that looks halfway decent, I mean, this one here, as you can see, it's got a few lines in it. It could probably use a press. And I'm just going on what I can see. But you know how it is, what I tell y'all about the Porch Puppy now. If the price point was right, the condition is right, I'm fine with it. Now, I know for a surety that if it came down and wanted to turn around and sell the book, probably couldn't sell it for what I'd like to get for it. Now, keep in mind, these books here, they were either in trade, or some I bought, down the road. They wasn't dollar books. And most of them in trade. I'd rather deal in trading for the comics, because it works better for me, because I subscribe sometimes to the old country song, y'all, where they said it's too much month for the end of the money. So, once you done took your tithes and your offering out, once you done paid your bills and everything, then, if you, Lord bless, got enough to put gas in your car, your truck, and, of course, you done got food in the house and everything, and, if you've got, figuratively speaking, 2 nickels to rub together, you're doing pretty good. But now, if I've got books to trade, I'll trade off, because like I told you before, I want to keep my collection kind of manageable. I've had buku books at one time or another, but to me, sometimes having a whole lot of books is like people that's got, more than 1 or 2 vehicles. You can only drive one. So, I mean, it's to me, it's almost like, I done been there, I done that. This here, that don't give me a headache. If I want to pull out the boxes, I can pull them out and I can put them back in, and I don't have to worry about trying to make sure, that I'm trying to cover all the books I used to have. I've got brothers of mine that's got more books, that he probably got enough books they can start a comic shop of their own. But, I just like to keep mine kind of nice, kind of manageable. Because like I said, I forgot what I told y'all in previous episodes. I forgot what iteration of this collection is. But I want to shape it up into something, that I'm just kind of nostalgia type, if you allow me to say. But this again is our episode 26, y'all. And I want y'all to, again, I can't thank y'all enough for subscribing. for tuning in, for looking, for giving me the thumbs up. Again, I said it. Like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell. We're just trying to put out some good stuff, just trying to put out some good content, So like what I want to try to do from here on out is trying to make sure that anytime I put out a new video, I want to make sure I put it out either in the 12 a.m. hour or the 6 a.m. hour of that day. So like, 12 a.m., this video will come on Wednesday morning, 12 a.m. If I do the pickle barrel, if we do the pickle barrel and I don't put it out at 12 a.m., Lord bless, I'll do my best to get it out at 6 a.m. on that Saturday morning. So you can be able to look for it in the same way with the long haul Mondays. Those are what I'm going to stick with for a particular time. And keep watching. I've been having some of the folks, I know some people say, well, most of your subscribers sometimes are probably your family members, and some of them are, they get on YouTube, and a lot of them are my friends and brethren that we trade books together and different things. And then there are others that are coming in that are leaving some real nice comments, and I thank the Lord for them. Not trying to hurt nobody, not trying to discourage nobody. It's trying to show you some books and encourage, So one day I've had my grandson that got me started on this path. My grandson told me, he said, one day you're just going to have to let people see who you are. One day I will let you see who I am. A lot of people that know me already know who I am, but for the community, you don't. One day I will show my face. And when you least expect it, boom, there it is. So we thank you again. Look, I love you, community, and I love you with the love of the Lord. And remember what I told you all the time. Look, heaven is a prepared place for prepared people. Remember, go back and read that scripture over in James, the 4th chapter, verses 7, 8, and 10. Read the whole chapter. But look, get into God's word. Get into his word. You'll find answers to everything. That's why I said the Bible is, look, it's what I tell you so many times. It's basic instructions before leaving earth. That's what it is. Understand, y'all, the Lord is soon to come. And again, I love you, community. And I thank you. And as we say here on PPC, it's nice here on the porch. God bless you. Have a great morning.